welcome to Living with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm Denisha. That's what I'm trying to do with my laptop.
And welcome to Living with the Spectrum. We do apologize. We've had some technical difficulties. I had to reset the computer. They can't see you right here.
I don't know what else you want me to do.
They had to reset the computer, and I had to reset it anyway and try to get some things going.
Why don't you just
I don't know what's going on here. It's 1 minute something's working, another minute is
Don't
not.
worry about it, E. That
So-
one's not working.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna step away and see what's going on, why that's not working. But
Just use the
Denisha,
one camera.
no, we'll use both. Go ahead.
Welcome to Living with the Spectrum. I am one of your hosts, Denisha. And like Tim said, we have been having some technical difficulties. And so, yeah, I don't know what's going on. We got some good lighting, though, right? Right?
I'm back, y'all.
We'll see how it works.
Nehemiah, position us a little bit. Turn the camera. this way.
Anyways, so how y'all doing out there tonight? If this is your first, this is episode 8.
Yes.
We are 8 episodes in. You are going to see Grace tonight. She is determined to be
On camera.
on camera and on episode 8. So, how you guys doing? If you are new to us, we are Living with the Spectrum. We are Tim and Denisha Ashley. We have 3 children on the autistic spectrum.
3.
And what I didn't say 3.
No, I said 3.
Did I say
I'm
3?
just.
Oh, okay. I
commentating.
didn't know what I was saying. And so what we do is we
Grace, get down.
and you'll hear moments where we have to stop and deal with kids, food, get somebody, from jumping off something or time to put them to bed, whatever. We're very real. And we try to be as transparent as possible without putting all our business out on the streets. But we are still very open and, telling you what it's like having 3 special children on the spectrum and what it's like also being believers with, this journey that we're going on. So that's pretty much what we do. There will be times that you see, I feel like I have to say these things just in case it's someone's first time watching. If it is, welcome. Oh, before I go any further, if you could please
Like.
share and please subscribe to Living with the Spectrum. We have a Facebook page. We also have a YouTube page. You can also listen to us on all of these different podcast platforms.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. There's quite a few different ones.
Go to a podcast.
Deezer.
Put us in. If you don't see us there, check another one.
Yeah.
But we're on a couple of different ones, and Tim will definitely put it in our comment section or somewhere so you can know where to look us up at.
Yeah.
But today what we like to do, I'm extremely tired.
Me too.
I am doing a billion things. I just got done cooking fresh Chinese food.
Oh, the food was good too.
Bake some carrot breakfast muffins, and now we're doing this podcast, and I still washing and doing clothes. Anyways, I just wanted to give a little bit of what I was doing. And life still has to go on
Yes.
with the kids.
Yes. So today, our topic, we're going to be talking about IEPs.
IEP.
And the meetings and how they go.
Oh, how
And
great they are.
IEPs, if you can look up that definition for what it really means. We've come up with a couple of different acronyms for it,
What?
It's basically...
it's an individualized educational plan.
And what that basically means is that for your child that's on the spectrum, They look at the skills that they have or skills that they need to have, and try to prepare them to get to the next level. And that's what the IEP is about. It's an individual plan for your child so that they can actually to see where, I guess, their
So
development is.
it's an individualized education program, whatever plan, program, same difference, same thing. What it is, it's a plan, a program. So if you are not in this community of autism, or it's not even for just autistic kids, it could be for any type of, it could be for
Disability.
ADHD,
Yeah.
any special needs, or anything, a behavior or whatever they feel like your child needs to be on an IEP or whatever, or you've gone through certain diagnoses or whatever, and so it's been discussed that your child needs an IEP.
Yeah.
So what an IEP is, again, it's an individualized education program. Is you have the teacher that your child is like your main teacher, if it's in a special needs class or self-contained classroom, or a classroom that they call them SIPID class, which is severely. Let me tell you what that is too, because we've dealt with all.
That's like a child that has severe disabilities, right?
Right. But nonetheless, it's like when, there are certain things, they may be nonverbal, they may be wheelchair bound, they may be certain things that they probably wouldn't be able to do in a self-contained classroom or whatever. So there are a couple of different classrooms, and you could still have an IEP and be in general education or whatever. They may just take you out and put you, somewhere to learn certain things. Nonetheless, the reason why we are talking about blessed IEPs is because we just had 2 of them back to back.
Back to back.
And they are not fun, guys. Again,
Sometimes they're not.
no.
Well, most of the times
I
they're
ain't
not.
had one
but
yet that I
the last
enjoyed.
one, I mean, the one with Nehemiah was pleasing, right?
For the most
that
part,
was the
and
best
then
one we've ever had, right?
well, you had got kicked off, and then at the end,
Well,
I'm always left to hold the brunt of everything. Okay.
I was for my excuse, I was in a rural area, so I got bumped off, and I was riding when the IEP was going on, and I had to pick up my 2 girls, and then there's that dead space, where it seems like AT&T and other places can't get to, so I got bumped off, and that's what happened.
Anyways, nonetheless, for the most part, Nehemiah's IEP went very well. But there was a section in there from one of the therapists that I wasn't, too keen on. But whatever. For the most part, they're never like, oh, yay, exciting. Because on one end, you feel like you're fighting for something for your child, or they're telling, like, you feel like your child may have gone farther along than what they really have, because you might see a lot of progress, but in school they may see a different type of progress, or they may be looking for something different, and it's like, can we count the goodness, you know what I'm saying, that they've been doing, the fact that good, let's do the good.
Let's give some examples.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, like for instance, like tying their shoes, or being able to respond, or be able to feed a teddy bear, or just certain things that they want them to. This is just an example, just simple stuff that they're trying to get them to master, so that they can go on another level and make them more of what we call natural.
I don't know. Everybody has their own.
Or normal.
Yeah, whatever. No, normal. But let me be a little bit more in depth with what an IEP is, because I didn't really say. So what they do is they set you up on this plan or program that has goals that they want each child to be able to accomplish by the end of the year, or by mid school term or whatever. And again, we have 3 of those that we have to go through and that we deal with on a yearly basis or whatever. So we just had our oldest, our son's IEP, and then we had our middle daughter's IEP, and I believe our baby girls will be coming up soon. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to make sure that I give y'all the right. I really didn't want the laptop to show, but we so we so it is what it is around here. Y'all gonna see some of the background stuff until we get like all the way right. But so they give you these goals, or they give the children these goals that they want them to be able to accomplish. I'm sorry, I had it away from my mouth. Goals that they want them to be able to accomplish, again, by the middle of the school term or by, the end of the school term. And so it could be as small as being able to identify A through, excuse me, E, you just made me darker. Yeah. That really made me darker. I mean, I'm already a little chocolate, but there we go. Well, there it was. Anyway, he'll figure it out. It could be as simple as counting to 5. It could be as simple as being able to identify the letters from A to E. Sometimes they don't give them, such a broad spectrum, or that's too bright. Oh, sorry. Look, I'm in I'm in the wrong lane because I can barely be in this lane I'm in right now. So, and it can be as easy, not as easy, because some of the things may be easy to us, but to them it's difficult. It could be being able to identify the letters in their name. It could be tasks as like being able to grip a pencil, a crayon, cut in a straight line. It really, really just depends. Even sometimes math problems, the older you get, they want to be able to help you do math. Like Nehemiah is learning some math questions. He's one of one of the main ones in his class that does know how to read. And I want to give a shout out to his 5th grade teacher. She was amazing, I'm not going to say her name because that's, private, but she had a big hand in helping us with him and, teaching us what to do to help him learn how to read certain things and just, whatever. So shout out to you, 5th grade teacher. You know who you are. He misses you extremely, like all the time. He talks about you. And I need to figure out a way so he can call you or, meet up with you. I just want to do that side note real quick. Anyway, so we just had 2 IEP meetings. And when I tell you, anybody that has ever had an IEP meeting or a meeting with, the team of people that is supposed to really help out with this plan, it can be very intimidating. It can be very frustrating. A lot of times, a lot of people get IEP advocates. So, because when you come in, because me and Tim have been doing this for
like 10 years.
Like 10 years. Yeah. We kind of know the ins and outs. They give you a stack of paper, parental rights.
And they got like it looked like a table full of the government there basically. It's
pretty
like
much
4 or 5 people that's there. You know?
Like straight up.
And it's a therapist. It's the teacher. It's
2
teachers.
therapists.
2 therapists. The teacher. Just seemed
the special needs teacher, the lead teacher over the special education classes. And then there's general education. Teacher. What is that?
That was Alexa.
Ma'am, you are. Tim, please.
Yes. I'll go to a different shop. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got the kids. The kids are
like
comfortable.
You just go expose what
I didn't see her walk up like that.
Like as soon as she.
The kids are comfortable, so they're walking around.
Yeah, but I don't. There are certain things I don't want.
I
that's private.
I understand. Yeah.
And so it's can you please, Nehemiah, go see what Evea needs? Or some, let me go put some pants on her, please,
Okay.
because
Go ahead.
stuff out loud. Let me tell you something. The mama bear will come out. Now, when it comes down to my children and their privacy, that's why I'm not huge. That was one of the reasons why I did. Yes. Don't worry about it. That was one of the reasons why I was really skeptical about doing this podcast and video, because they don't really understand the importance of certain things. So it's my job and it's Tim's job to make sure that we keep
protect
them
Yeah, protect them.
as private as possible, and keep them as protected as we can. So I will be back, because it's very important for me that she is decent, because if she does decide to walk out here, it ain't nobody business what my child got on, okay? So I'll be back.
Okay. All right. So it means I'll take over real quickly and just give some of my experiences. So, generally when I go in there, if my wife can't make it, or if vice versa. Anyways, when I've been in there, it's like, for some reason, we're just sitting there and we're talking about their accomplishments. We're talking about, where they should be going, or where their path should be leading to. And sometimes when you're there and you see some of the simplest things that they're unable to do, it breaks your heart. And you're like, I've been trying to get them to do this, and I've been trying to get them to do that, but they're not grasping it. And sometimes it could take a little time. Sometimes it could take longer, depending on the level that your child is on. And for my son, I'll give you an example with my son. There were some things that he was unable to do that he's able to do now. And if you've watched some of our past podcasts, they basically told us, from when he was like 3 years old, that there's certain things that he wouldn't grow up to do that he's doing now. His sister was well advanced over him, but then she started to digress. And he's moved forward. He's able to read. He's able to do math. He's able to write. And he's able to, he's a great imagination, very funny. And he's very technical. He's behind the cameras right now. So I taught him a little something, and he's learning gradually. And sometimes I have to stay on him. Nehemiah, I need you to pay attention. Stay on that camera. But other than that, with the meetings, sometimes it is discouraging. Most of the time it is, because you're looking at what they can't do. And it's like, man, those things are so simple. Why can't they catch on to that? And you're waiting for them to really grasp on. So that's where I'm at. And basically what I was saying is that during the meetings, that how a lot of the times it's discouraging, because it's the simplest things that they can't do. So what's your take on that?
It's very discouraging. For me, sometimes, and again, it's not all like, sometimes you feel like you have, okay, so let me just put it like this. Majority of the teachers that we have had thus far have been great, right? So I am not talking about none of the teachers, because the teachers, well, there was one in particular a couple of years back. She tried her hardest to do some stuff with, not, she was doing some stuff that was not.
Basically, she was trying to put our child back in a class that she couldn't develop in.
Correct. So and because she didn't want to deal with her for whatever reason, I don't know. So other than her, the teachers that we have gone into with doing IEPs with, they've been great. So this has nothing to do with the teachers. But sometimes I feel like when it comes down to just the meeting in general, like Tim said, it can be discouraging, because they may say like, we want him or her to get a, the goal was for them to be able to identify their name 5 times out of 7. Let's just say that. And then they say, well, they've only identified it twice. And it's like, okay.
At least they identified it.
Why? Like,
That's what really gets to me. It's like, dang, I mean, yeah, I mean, we want them to be able to do it all the time,
right.
but and we can't go against the way that the system is made up with that, because they're trying to get us to have our child to be better, and trying to make them successful. So I mean, but those are some of the thoughts you're thinking.
Yeah,
know?
it's like, okay, and I don't know if it's when the children get to school. Well, I do know that, because a lot of times people say when kids get away from their parents, they act a certain way, and that is absolutely true, autistic or not. Children act a certain way around their family and their parents. You don't touch that. I don't think.
You're messing
Right.
with the camera up. Let me check. Okay, there you go.
I mean, again, things are happening behind the scenes that you guys don't even get to see. But, what was I gonna say? See, distracted. I don't even know. Anyway, oh yeah, they're different, away from their families and their parents or whatever. And so when they say these certain goals, you're like, okay, are you sure? Because when they're home, there are things that, like, they'll tell me, like, oh, Evea will only respond to one question, one word questions or something like that, however they word it. Like, she'll only respond to come here. Well, at home, for me, I can say to her, hey, come here, take this and go put this on my dresser.
Matter of fact, the other day I told her to go get me something. I'm in another room. She went all the way upstairs and got it and brought it back to me.
Again.
So
For us, it can be like discouraging and confusing.
But the thing about this though is, I'm just saying this. The thing about it is
You
that
ain't let me
if they're
finish.
in a comfortable environment, they're going to based on their comfortability. Nehemiah, check that camera.
It's about to shut off.
All right. You know what to do.
Our son
Touch
is behind.
No, touch the zoom. The zoom.
He's behind
Okay.
the camera.
Let me see. Let me
It's
hold
about
on.
to shut off.
I might have to get up. I have to get up. I'm sorry.
We're trying to teach him certain aspects of this, and some moments he may get it and some moments he may not. Now you're going to hear some extra sounds because our 10-year-old is doing what she does. But anyway, so you get confused, you get upset, because sometimes you feel like when you need certain things that what you need is not available to you, or they have all of these hoops and things that need to be done, and it's like, you see the need. If you see the need, you understand the need. The parent and the teachers are voicing the need, but now there's an extra process that you have to go through in order to get something. Like recently, in one of our most recent IEPs, we've been talking about my 10-year-old and her SIB, which is self-injurious behavior. And that's something that has started to, what's the word when it's?
What, getting worse or?
Not just getting worse, but it's starting to, Lord have mercy, help me, Lord. It's starting to impact how she learns in the way, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's starting to, what you call when something interrupted? I guess I'll use the word interrupt,
yeah.
but that's not the word I'm looking for. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, and if you know, just put it in the comments. That's the word I'm looking for. Starting to interrupt her learning, the surrounding environment, interrupt the teachers and the parents and all of that kind of stuff. So, and and mind you, our 10-year-old is on her way to the 6th grade.
Yeah.
So this is definitely something that, as far as the hitting and the aggression, we're trying to nip that in the bud very soon.
Yeah.
Like, we want to get that taken care of as much as possible before she gets into the 6th grade, which is why we're like pushing as hard as we can to get her into ABA therapy. Again, check it out for yourself. Some people have good things to say about it, and some people, for whatever reason, they've had bad experiences. But don't not do something just because someone else says it didn't work for them, because what didn't work for them may work for you. So we are going to put our children and start out with our 10-year-old in ABA therapy. So we are trying very hard to get her. We found a company that would fit with her very well or whatever. So we're getting all the paperwork together. And and she's going to the 6th grade, like I just said. I'm sorry, I may be repeating myself a little bit. And so when the teacher was explaining how she was the 6th grade, possible 6th grade teacher that she was supposed to be going to, you could just kind of tell she was not enthused or feeling the fact that my daughter might be in her class. And again, I'm okay with that, because what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander.
Yeah, so go ahead. What I have to say about this is that, a lot of people aren't really trained or truly experienced when it comes to different kids on different levels with autism. And sometimes they don't prepare for that. They prepare for what may be comfortable for them when it comes down to dealing with a child that may have or may be more severe than those that they're used to. So if you're a parent, my advice for that particular situation is to look for what's going to fit your child. And if that's not the school for them,
babe, we wasn't even at that part yet.
I'm just saying this because when you mentioned that, I had to bring that up.
Yeah, but then you gonna make me forget what I was about to say.
Hold on. Do you remember what you were about to say?
Yeah, but that's because I'm literally like.
Okay, let me wrap it up. Just hold it. Just hold your mind.
But there was like.
Just hold your mind real quick.
Like.
I mean, but at
least it's on here because.
As a parent to parent, that's all I'm saying. I'm just talking to you from heart to heart. Just see what situation works the best for your child and move based on that. And that's all I had to say. Go ahead.
But, babe, that could have waited till after we gave, after what I was about to say, then you could have came in and said that little
Was it going to work with what you was about to say?
Yeah. After I was done.
So, hold on. If it's going to work with it, then work it.
Anyways, but that would have came good after I was done. Nonetheless.
It's good now.
The teacher did not, and again, we know, I don't know this lady, but I've kind of, you know what I'm saying? Because my oldest child is already in the 6th grade or whatever.
But he's high functioning.
Whatever. High, medium, low.
You see that shot we're on right now? He just set that shot.
Praise God.
He just boxed us in. So he did
awesome.
It. Awesome 2-shot, son. Go ahead and single your mom out.
Okay.
Right.
So as I was saying, as a teacher was, kind of giving an overview of what, Eva's behavior is like and how she is as a student, you could kind of tell that the teachers, and this was a Zoom meeting. Normally, before pre-COVID, everything was, in a classroom setting or whatever, face-to-face. But, and I don't even think, she didn't have her, you couldn't see her face. But the way she began to talk, and there was a side chat that I could see, why isn't she in the SIDPID class, which is the severely profound something. I don't know. Y'all can look it up. If you already in this world, this community, you know what it means. I'll make sure I find out what it means before I get off. But I had to jump in because I was like, okay, here's the problem, y'all. Yes, she has this behavior. And I'm not saying that the class that she was supposed to be going to, she should go there. Because the behaviors that she has, like I said, is starting to disrupt her learning and stuff like that. But I felt some type of way because it was like, okay, well, I can't be dealing with that kind of behavior right now because that's going to be too much. And shout out to all of the teachers. I'm not coming up against no teachers or whatever, but y'all got to understand that's a lot for a parent to be, I'm very good at discerning a lot of different things, a lot of behaviors, and then especially when it come down to my children, I'm on 10 when it come down to my kids. You know what I'm saying? So when when she began to speak, the tone and the way things were coming out, I was not feeling it. So I said, "Can you not? I don't want you to be deaf, so don't put your face up there, okay?" Thank you. She said, well, why isn't she already in the CFB class? And that was written in the chat. And I said, well, let me just say this. I said, she had been in a CFB class when she was in like the second grade. I want to say maybe first going into the second. But the teacher and I and the lead of special education.
Like superintendent or something?
No,
like
it wasn't the superintendent.
Okay.
It was a lead. Like they have a lead over the whatever.
that particular school?
No, they have a lead over the special needs classrooms, period.
Okay.
It's like the lead special education teacher and then the special education teacher in the classroom with the students.
So they recognized her ability.
They knew that she shouldn't have been in the civic class. Okay?
She's very smart.
It has, babe, but that's not the point. The point is the only reason why she was in that class at that time was because she was nonverbal. Now, her previous teacher coming from the school that was prior to, okay, so if our child had been to like 3 different schools, had nothing to do with her behavior. It just had to do with teachers and different situations going on or whatever. So when she first went to school, she ended up with this amazing teacher, which our 5-year-old has right now, and she was able to identify her name. She was able to do all of these different things, even
Puzzles.
being puzzles. I mean, she was knocking them out, colors, all kinds of stuff, right? Okay, so she graduated out of that was pre-K, special education pre-K, and then she went to kindergarten, and then she ended up at one school, and then they sent her back to one school. So anyway, nonetheless, she ended up in the classroom, and the teacher that she had was like, she already knows everything that she needs to know, and I cannot teach her because I'm busy dealing with the other children that really need my attention, because for whatever reason, like I said, these children may be wheelchair bound. They may have other abilities or special powers that, Evea didn't have at that moment. So she said it's best if she gets sent to an MOID class, that she'll be able to be around kids that are more, that she can.
Advanced.
Not more, babe, stop.
Trying to help you.
No, but you're putting in the wrong words. That is more her speed, that she can communicate with, and they'll teach her some things or whatever. So I was like, okay. Anyways, so she got out of that class and has been smooth sailing up until we hit this brick wall. Okay, now we're talking about not a completely different person, but these behaviors that have come up within the past, I'll say year and a half, because it kind of started right before the lockdown with COVID or whatever. Yeah. So these behaviors, and they have increased, right? So it has nothing to do with, I'm sorry, y'all, he tried. It has nothing to do, that's perfect, B. That has nothing to do with her being smart. And I think that's one of the things that irritate me the most, because she's a very smart girl. But the fact that she is nonverbal, it does hinder, and it holds her back from being where she needs to be. Now we have added on top of this new season in our life with this SIB, the self-injurious behavior. So now they're saying that they're thinking about putting her in a CPID class. And I'm like, well, let's be very clear. There was no need for her to be in that class before, because the person that you see before you now is not this. It's the same person, but the behaviors have changed. So that is why she was not in a CPID class. Um, and there is nothing wrong with a civic class. That's very important. People need that class for their children, but that's not where she was at that moment. Now, is that where she's probably going to end up because of the behavior? That's fine, yes. But don't just be like, well, I can't deal with that right now because I don't have enough parapros, and we don't have, again, we're still working on potty training our child. And we don't have no bathrooms in our classrooms. And just all of this, why she can't, and why this, and why this, and why that. I'm like, look, as far as I'm concerned, this meeting is getting very irritating to me, because all I can hear is all the negativity and why she can't do this and why she can't do that and how much she's digressed. And again, it's no fault of hers because, like the teacher brought up to in the meeting, we have dealt with a lot of major life-changing things. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just moved here. It ain't been no year we've been in this house, okay,
Yeah.
y'all? At the end of last school term, and I'm just giving a little bit of what we've dealt with, just so people can understand, like, there are reasons why even though she may be nonverbal or your children may have autism or any special ability or whatever, they still there's still certain things that could cause certain behaviors that you don't even think about. Yes, we feel things and we go through things as adults, and because we're verbal and we can speak and say certain things and talk about how we feel, we can do that. But for the ones that can't do that, this is what has gone and transpired in our life. So at the end of last school term, literally, I think it was the day after school got out for the kids, there was a flood in our house, right?
Yes.
And it flooded our entire bottom floor. And I'm not talking about little puddle of water. I'm talking about it was straight talk, right?
It was like maybe what, 2 feet.
Yes, and it was the entire bottom
yeah.
floor, and it was shooting out of the wall because it was the main water pipe that had burst, right? And so it took at least a good 30, 40 minutes for my husband. He ended up having to call his friend. Him and his friend, thank you so much, friend Everett. I'm going to just go ahead and give you your props because you and him, y'all figured it out. But once they figure out, and they know I do that, I call y'all out, but y'all are homies. But once they figure out where the pipe was to turn off the drain,
Yes. Everything.
Once they figured it out, it had been a good 30, 45 minutes. And I'm trying to get my kids, now literally just got out of school, just got off of work. You know, when you get off work, you're tired, you taking your mental break, you may be, decompressing, whatever, getting in home, dressed, it's a Friday too, mind you, okay? So, Fridays be chill days when you get off work. You ain't about to cook nothing, you about to order out, chill with your husband, your wife, your kids, watch movies, whatever. All I know is that the water was coming out the wall like a geyser, right? After Tim and our friend Everett figured out how to turn it off, before that, we ended up throwing the kids in the car. While they were sitting in the car, I'm trying to pack up and get things off of the floor. Okay. Now, mind you, we had to go stay with his mom for about 2 days. We sent our kids to Florida for about 2 months. And within those 2 months, me and Tim were living in and out of a hotel, okay? While we're living in and out of a hotel, we are fighting our insurance company. We're fighting the housing company, the renter company that we live with. And we're concerned because our kids are in Florida, right?
Yeah.
And I love my parents to the moon and back. I love them to life.
Big ups to the Nicholsons.
They definitely have our back and had our back. What in the world? They don't want us to be great. But they watched our kids for these 2 months, and that was a lot for us because we were in this hotel and we couldn't go back and forth. You know, Florida's a kind of a trek or whatever, and it's not something that I enjoy doing because it's too long to do. So anyway, they were in Florida. We were fighting. I mean, when I say fighting, fighting. And I want to give a big shout out to our good friend Kanisha, because Kanisha came together with me and Tim and wrote out, like I wrote out this letter, and then she came back in and she made that letter pristine, you know what I'm saying? And got these people together, which ultimately, I mean, we had to do a little bit of threatening or whatever. Sometimes you got to do that, you know, to get what you want. Please drink some water. Thank you. And we ended up, the Lord blessed us with this house that we are currently in. That was in August of last year.
Yeah.
So when they came back, what I'm doing is I'm giving you a timeline of why these behaviors, and this is what the teacher was, we still in the IEP meeting, okay, y'all? The teacher was even bringing this back to me because I'm sitting here like trying to figure it out just like everybody else trying to figure out. Me and Tim over here in the trenches trying to, you know what I'm saying, do the best that we can do and try to figure out why these behaviors are increasing. So they come back, but they don't come back to the home that they have been living in for the past 8 years. They come back to a hotel room. The first hotel room was decent, right?
Yeah, it was pretty decent.
It was a decent size. However, before we got to that hotel, I said, hey, we're probably going to end up having our kids with us. They do have special needs, and they are going to make noise. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Whatever.
That's what they always say.
They always say that, right? If you in the community, you know, nobody cares. It's not a big,
somebody making
right,
noise.
Until it's a problem, right? Until the actual behaviors begin. Anyway, so there was a complaint. Tim called me while I was at work, said, hey, they're going to move us downstairs to a different room, and it's going to be just as big or whatever. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So we moved downstairs or whatever to another room. We were at that hotel for about, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were at that hotel for about 2 weeks. We ended up going to pick our kids up because it was a lot on my parents. My parents are getting older or whatever. And if we can take care of our kids the best way that we can, and I know it wasn't the ideal situation, we definitely do that. So we picked them up because we could see that my parents were getting tired. It's a lot. 3 children, special needs, autism. She wasn't even 5 at the time. She was 4. Go get one.
You want a drink? Go ahead and get one.
So anyway, moving forward, they come back to another hotel. We moved from that hotel, and we moved to Covington or whatever. I can say that because we're not there anymore. And we were in that hotel, which was even smaller. Imagine just like a regular, it was a nice hotel, but it was just like a hotel that had 2 small beds. I mean, it was smaller. So now we're in the compact room. And school had started by this time, but we didn't know exactly where the company that we currently rent from, and by the help of the Lord, he's going to bless us to be able to move out of here and get away from them. We were fighting with them because we're like, look, school is starting, and we got to get our kids to school before people come and arrest us, Anyway, after the threats, after the letters, they ended up putting us in a different county. We had to fill out paperwork for homelessness, something I thought I'd never fill out paperwork for, being homeless.
Yeah.
That was a knock in the gut, you know what I mean? And we moved into this house. So imagine leaving one house that you've lived in for 8 years, coming back to a hotel, moving 3 different rooms, different hotel, then finally settling in a house in a different county. And not only that, the teacher that she had known was gone. And she pretty much has a new teacher. Now, the teacher is great, love her, still now. But that was a lot. And I said all that to say this. The teacher mentioned, she didn't go as in-depth as I did, of course, because it's my life, and so she can't do that. But she skimmed over everything and was like, so it's and I had a tragic death in my family. My brother passed away. I'm not sure what that's all about. There was something that happened with the cameras. So my brother passed away in September. And then we had to leave the country for a month. And then we came back. So it's a lot of things that happened to her. And not just to her, but to us, that kind of didn't help, whatever. So I was taking it back and I was a little upset. So I said, hey, how about we look into getting her, because somebody had mentioned about parapros or whatever, and that if she had her own, I think the possible 6th grade teacher asked if she had her own personal parapro. Why don't you just leave it like that? And so the teacher said no. They make do with the way that what they have now. And so I said, well, why don't we just look into getting her own one-on-one para? Then here come somebody. I think it was a special lead, the lead teacher. I don't know who she was. But nonetheless, she named all of these different reasons why she couldn't have one at this time. It was 1,000 different forms and paperworks and this, that, and the third of why, it wasn't going to be possible. And then here is what was said that kind of irritated my inner. It disturbed my peace because she said, and once we get this paperwork and that paperwork, that would just be the beginning of everything. That wouldn't even start the process. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, listen, we already have a lot of problems. We already have things that's already piled upon us. So why do we need some extra stuff to keep us from moving forward, I'm pretty sure that, me and my wife would probably be some type of doctors or something by now. Based on, our drive and the things that we have the ability to do. But based on our kids being the way they are, there's sometimes that, we have to schedule around what we do. We can't just work regular jobs. We have to work jobs that have schedules that we're able to control the schedule on.
Speaking of schedules, I just remembered they missed speech yesterday. And you know what? Why are we talking about this? I done got irritated now. That's somebody I need to talk to because anyway. So yeah, when she said that to me, it just hit me. And again, just like Tim said, we have 1,000 things going on in our lives. And it's not always going to go smooth sailing. As a matter of fact, I can't really tell you a time it's ever really been smooth sailing for us. Yeah. But we take the hits and we keep on moving or whatever. And I'm not complaining and I'm not saying anything. What?
Keep
okay.
Keep talking.
I'm sorry. He's doing something. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, you would kind of expect a little bit more from
more grace or something like
I don't know. Yeah, more grace, but from people that say they work in a certain field. So when she said that to me, I said, so what I'm hearing is that this system isn't really made, or, all of this isn't really made for our children. So what you're telling me is what we're dealing with, and not just my kids, but anybody else that has been dealing with IEPs and all of these different this, that, and the third with your kids. It's like the system is set up to prolong and to push you back from moving forward.
But you know what? We can't say that that's everyone's intent.
I
you
didn't
know?
say that.
I because there's other people that are looking that may be teachers that may be
I didn't.
on the other side. I just want to say this. I mean,
You're distracting me.
I'm
I'm
not,
not
trying
sure
to,
what you're doing.
I'm not trying to distract you. What I'm saying is this. I'm trying to get things ready so I can see what platforms you're on.
Yeah, but can we focus on this?
But what I'm saying is this: we got to be fair also when we talk about the teachers and stuff.
I
like
didn't
that.
say the teachers.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: that a lot of these teachers, their sizes of the classes change all the time. So they could be dealing with 5, and then it goes up to 15, and it makes it harder for them to deal with just your
He
child.
just moved the camera, so that's what I'm telling you. You need to be.
That camera's not working right now.
Oh, okay.
Listen to me. What I'm saying is this: is that there may be so many things that could be going on in the classroom that may change, what the teacher's able to do. The forms, a lot of times, it's something that, that they've already made it out with different plans of how things are going to be for you to get to this step and that step. And I understand that everyone has different protocols. But what I'm saying is that we as parents want it to be a little bit more easier. We don't want to have to jump through hoops. Because think about it, we have children that have autism, and a lot of us parents have arguments with each other because we're dealing with this child and not able to spend the time that we should spend with one another, and people are walking out on other people. There's a lot of things that we deal with. This is not an easy life, so we want it to be a little bit more easy. I understand that there's protocol. You hear me? Yeah. So I understand there's protocol, but think about being in our shoes.
I agree. Again, I'm not asking for y'all to change the protocol. I get that there is protocol. But a lot of these protocols that have been set up were set up by people that don't understand the life.
Or don't have the children.
That don't have the children. And if they do, it's like, but again, if they do, then they would understand. So, I don't know. Then I got, whatever. So the IEP ended. I said what I had to say. I wasn't feeling it. I ended up talking to Tim and was like, I even feel like maybe we should just pull her out of school altogether. I'm going to be 100% real with you because I feel like I don't know what's going on with her. And maybe her being homeschooled. Now, I'm not saying that that is actually an option. I would love to be able to homeschool her because Nehemiah and Grace thrive in school. And again, we know school ain't for they got to go to school. But when I'm saying some school settings are not for every child, right?
Different type of learning.
And even though she still does certain things at home, I know that it's not as intent or not as much, I should say, because after the IEP meeting that day, I was so frustrated and discouraged, and I was just like, the next day I was like, no, she's not going to school today. Like, she needs a mental break. I need a mental break. We need to be able to, she needs some time, you know what I mean? And I don't want it always I don't ever want her to be nobody's problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't ever want it to be that when she walks into a place,
she's a burden.
She's a burden on somebody else, because that feeling, I dread that for my kids.
Yeah.
Anywhere we go. I don't want, when she oh gosh, she came to, you know what I'm saying? So
she actually came today.
Yeah, I get that our child is a lot, or our children can be a lot. Now, I don't know why that had to be in there, but she needed it to be in there for a move, Grace. Grace.
Stop.
Gracie. Come here. Go throw it away.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. So anyway, I don't ever want that to be something that we have to deal with. And I understand as parents. Throw it away.
Throw it away.
That's just probably always something that I may always have in the back of my mind anyway. And I'm not saying that's what the teachers do. Again, never said teachers love her.
Yeah.
And I think, but I do know that it can be a lot, because I'm gonna have to take 5 because
Yeah,
Grace
go
is
ahead, go
doing
ahead,
a
go
little bit
ahead.
more. Let me just say this real quick. It's a lot to deal with for anybody. So I just want to make sure. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we got that one angle you want. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, our life is it's challenging, but even in the challenges, there's great things about it. We love hearing our children, laugh and be able to say certain things when they were unable to talk. Like Grace, her verbiage is starting to come out. She's our 5-year-old, and before she was just mumbling. And it's like, man, what is going on? I don't need another. I don't need my third child to be nonverbal as well. So, but to see her talk, that really enlightens me. It really makes me happy. So there's great things that happen in the midst of everything. And, even when you see some of the results after the IEP, that they're able to have the ability to do certain things after they practice over and over again, then that's when you start seeing your reward with everything. So, I mean, we have to work twice as hard, maybe 3 times as hard. But as long as we work at it, as long as we don't give up, then it's going to be great, you know. Like I mentioned, like my son Nehemiah, at first all he had was echolalia. He would just copy the things that we would say, but now his vocabulary is so superb. I think he actually talks better than me, to be honest with you. He's around here and just saying certain things that make you really think. So he's really thinking now. He's thriving and being his own little person. Big ups to my son. He's 13 now. Praise God. We have a teenager in the house. But other than that, yeah, these IEPs, they're challenging, but at least you get to hear the truth. I think a lot of people have problems with hearing the truth because they're in their own reality. And when you hear the truth, then you know how to deal with it. You know what to prepare for. You know how to attack certain areas and how to climb to that next level. You know what you're fighting and what you're facing. So I think that IPs are a good thing, in my opinion. It's just a lot of times we don't want to hear what people have to say, or we get discouraged because we already know that they're having problems. But when you actually see it on paper and you see everything before you, you just you're thinking there's a couple of different problems, but then it's a vast majority of a lot of problems that your child is facing that they have to overcome. So big ups to all the parents that are dealing with special needs children, that have special needs children on a day-to-day basis. And as we said before, think about ways that you can also do self-care, because you don't want to fall into a category of mental health because you're so busy taking care of someone else that you can't do things to take care of yourself. And you have to be strong for your babies. You have to be mentally there for your babies. You can't let it go to the point of where they're challenged in their minds, and then you're challenged and you can't help them. So those are the things that I would like to basically say, advice-wise. We're always here for open advice, and we're always wanting to know how to get to the next level with our children. So this show is not about us. This show is about a community. It shows about people that are dealing and living with the spectrum. And I just want to say, even if you're in your car, if you're not able to see us on Facebook or YouTube or anything of that nature, you can check us out. There's a couple of places you can check us out. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify, Podchaser, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Player FM, Listen Notes, Podcast Index. We're on Deezer. We're on Listen On. We're on Castro. We're on Overcast and Pocket Casts. So we're putting it out there so you can't miss us, And we hope that what we're doing is encouraging you and allowing you to voice out what's in your heart and to say, this is what I'm dealing with, so that you can be able to push it out and release it and, get free from some things, right?
Y'all get into my shirt. Where is it?
You got it.
In honor of Black History Month.
We have to throw something in there, Black History Month.
Anyways, I missed all of that. Hello? I missed all of that. I had to go do a mommy duty real quick. Huh? Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, your
So
mic, your mic wasn't on.
I did turn it on. It kept going in and out.
I just clicked it on.
Okay, well, then it's working for you. um, again, let me just say this. I ain't talking about none of the teachers that I have come in contact with, but I'm talking about my experience as, well, not the ones recently. Again, like I said, we did have one that really didn't care for us or our child that much, which, hey, it's okay. But that is our experience, well, my experience. And, you know, people may say, well, why don't you take them out and put them in a school for all autistic kids? If I could, I would. But let me tell you something. Those schools are very expensive, number one.
Yeah, they are.
And number two, in order for your child to be able to go to that school, they can't have certain behaviors. So if you're, which to me don't make sense. You're going to have a school for autistic kids, but they can only work, you know, so I'm sorry, I just went completely blank.
Just pay attention to the camera. You're looking at all this other
He's
stuff.
telling me to mind my business, y'all.
Mind your business.
Mind the business that pay you. And that ain't it. Anyway, so you can't have certain behaviors, but so to me, you're going to have a school for children that have autism. But
And take the people money.
take the people money, right?
Yeah, listen.
But then they have to act a certain way. How?
I don't understand.
Why? Like, that's the point of them putting their children in your school, right?
Yeah.
So that they can be around children that are similar to them that may not be on the same level as them. I don't really like saying level. It really eats my whatever, grinds my gears. But nonetheless, so that they understand that there are other children out there that share, you know, similar whatever as they do.
Attributes or what?
Attributes, love that one, as they do. And so they're not singled out, because think about it. If you have these children or whatever and they put them in a separate classroom, at some point they might start feeling singled out. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but I'm a parent in that situation. So as much as I would love to send my kids that way, it's also still very, you know, cut straight down the middle. You got to be able to afford it, and I get it. Those teachers, they have to probably they would have to deal with a lot of certain things. But then at the same time, if you're saying your child can't come here because they, you know, may have outbursts, or they may stim and jump up and down or flap their hands, or whatever the case may be, or they may act out in the manner of our 10-year-old, they can't come, then what's your school for? Yeah. Somebody explain that to me. Y'all might be able to. If you know, let me know.
See, here.
I mean, they ain't going because we can't afford it, but nonetheless, go.
So there's a young man. I cut his hair, and he's autistic.
Babe,
no, but listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, his parents are dealing with having him at home, and they've paid all this lump sum of money, like $30,000, for this child to go to this school. But when he has these episodes, they can't deal with him. So his mom has to be like 20 minutes away, close to the school, as he's there, because they may have to send him home. And these people have already paid this money. The kid has been home for a month. And I go and cut his hair, and I hear about this, that you know, they're not getting a refund or anything, but he's going to have to look for another school to go to. So it's like, what's the purpose of sending my child to a specialized school?
That's for autism
and they're not equipped to handle it, you know? And most of the teachers that are there, you know, that are in special needs or so on and so forth, they're not equipped for autism or different levels. They just have been trained to work with kids that have certain behaviors. So they're not experts in what they're doing, and they're trying the best that they can, but that's not their full training, you know. So we take off our hats to teachers that are working with special needs children, but you do need the information that you need in order to truly work with them. So I kind of think that it's, in some ways, it's a blessing, but in some ways it's a disservice if your child has a deep or severe portion of autism. So I mean, it's like, man, wow. You know, I mean, what am I going to do?
Yeah. And my heart goes out to the people that I get on. I was just on one of the mom autism groups that I was in. And I said I was going to remember it. But she was just having a really, really rough time. And it's so many of us that are on these platforms, that are on these groups that deal with, like, pretty much the same thing. This is why we do what we do. Even though we have Christ in our lives.
Hey, Grace, what you need? I got it. We have to share the responsibility.
Right. Even though we have Christ in our lives and he's the main, our source nonetheless, it still can be very difficult. And when I go on these groups and I read these stories that these mothers are dealing with, it's like, dang, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Like, when I tell you I feel like this person is in my house, it's like, dang, I understand. And I said I was going to remember this particular one because it was so close to home for me, I can't remember. But anyway, because I done had so much stuff go on, me and like he said, you end up fussing for these children.
Yeah. And one day you might not even like one another, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like that.
But you make it work.
You make it work, you know.
And some people don't. Like, it's so many husbands, and they speak about the husbands more leaving the families because they feel like they can't deal with, the autism.
High stress
it's very stressful. It brings so much discord between a husband and a wife. But I'm pretty sure that there are women that leave too. So it's not just the men.
I know one that did.
Oh, baby, but I came back.
You came back.
Oh, and let's be very clear.
But
Hold on. I
we have
took my
to talk
children
about.
with me, and we will talk about that.
Yeah.
So let me just say that, because he's going to say that, and that's okay. Because I know that's something that we're going to talk about. That is his truth. But don't be swayed, honey, because where I go, my children go with me. Okay? Thank you. Go ahead.
Anyways, we'll talk about that. That's going to definitely be a hot one.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is, and it's because of high stress. And
very stressful.
It's the thing. The thing about it is that a lot of relationships don't last.
Right.
When it comes down to this autism thing,
Right.
And I remember when we took a bus trip, there was like some type of conference when we were at our old church, and we went somewhere, and there was a guy that was a bus driver. I was in the conversation with him, and he saw what I was dealing with our children, with the with the moods and so on and so forth, with them stemming and so on and so forth. He looked at me, he said, "Man, you a real man." Because ain't no way in the world.
He ain't give me no props.
He said, ain't no way in the world. So I mean, you have to look at that. But these are my children. So I'm not going to abandon them. I'm not going to just, what type of man would I be if, my flesh and blood out there is walking around and they starving, or we don't know what's going on. I'm not saying that they would. I'm just saying this.
Okay.
But I'm a very intricate part. I'm a very important part in the lives of my family. So if I leave them, it could devastate them in so many different ways. A lot of people have self-esteem issues because their father's not there.
Facts.
A lot of people don't have guidance, the proper guidance. Like my son, he needs me to show him how to be a man. So the family, even if my wife left, the family wouldn't be whole.
Even if I did, they'd be with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna be.
We don't want to talk about court battles.
And the only way they won't come with me is if I'm no longer on this earth. And so,
Okay.
but I cover that.
Let's not go there.
I'm just saying,
let's
because you keep
we
bringing it up.
We both love our children. So,
I love my children. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about the importance. I can't talk about the importance.
Absolutely.
Don't get offended because I'm talking about my
Tim,
truth.
trust me, I am not offended.
Okay.
Because just like anybody, you have to find. That's why we talk about self-care.
Yeah.
And mental health. You have to in this journey, y'all.
Yeah.
In a regular journey of life, you need mental health. You need to be able to, decompress mentally
Yeah.
and take care of yourself. But if you are going down this journey called autism with children, one child, two childs, three children, you have to find a way to decompress. You have
It's-
to find, and you know what? Your sister gave me an extremely good idea yesterday.
What was that?
And I'm going to say it now before I forget. She said once a month, each one of us should at least have one Friday or Saturday to themselves, like to get away.
Woo! That sounds good.
One. So it could be if Tim says that he wants to do Saturday morning or
Thank you,
Saturday
sister.
night. But I agree with him but again, that's there was a reason why I
You
put
agree
this
with my
on
sister,
the air.
right? My sister.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Because when it's time for it to happen, he gonna be calling me 1,000 times, and I'm not gonna answer because it's gonna be my turn.
I ain't worried about
But what
that.
I'm saying,
I ain't worried about that. I'm good.
y'all know, okay?
Me and the kids
You-
will be in
if
here
you
with
know
loud
us,
music
then
and
you know
everything.
the truth.
They
Anyway,
they know.
the house gonna be towed out. As long as I come back there, everybody's still alive. I'm okay.
We gonna be all right.
Anyways,
We gonna be
but
all
what
right.
I'm saying is, she made a very good point. If you have the opportunity to do, like, take yourself out, go to dinner by yourself, go to a movie. I don't know if the movies are still open. I think they back open.
Yeah, I think they back open.
like, life is pretty much going back to the way
You
it
can watch
used to
movies
be
from
or
home
whatever.
though. I don't,
But I'm just saying, something that you like to do, even if I said I'm just going to go over my friend's house or whatever and sit over there and chat and laugh and make an uproar over to their house and then come back home, then that's what I choose to do and whatever he chooses to do. But once a month for ourselves, for our sanity.
Yeah.
Now, again, I still go to therapy, and I got to get back on the books. I done fell off since I started work and everything.
Let me
But
say this before I forget it. You don't want to be
oh,
out.
so you want to be able to say what you want to say,
you
so
don't wanna
you don't
be-
forget. But when it's
This
my
is very
turn,
important. You know how
Oh!
when we go to Atlanta has a lot of. There's people that have a lot of mental health issues. You see homeless people walking through the
Man,
streets.
you said that the last
But
time.
let me say this. You see people, out there like fighting the air, and I think I saw some guy. I think he won that fight. But regardless,
Cut it
I'm
out.
just saying this.
Cut
You don't
it
want to be
out.
out there walking the streets with no mind. That's all I'm saying. Take care of yourself, please. Please, take care of yourself, because you're not going to be any good to your children if you're unable to do that. So.
Facts.
Yeah. So I mean, like me and my wife, we dropped our kids off at my mom's house.
Thank you. Interfere is the word. I just had to say that. Go.
Anyways, we took a night out. What was the day before Valentine's Day? Yeah, we went and we got these couple of massages. We went out to dinner, and man, I mean, I'm still talking about that massage because I felt like a lot of weight was off my shoulders. I was able to relax. I wasn't worried about, somebody crying. I wasn't worried about, calming someone down. I wasn't worried about, trying to make sure my child had the, because our kids are very picky. It's based on, the texture of the food,
And it got to
It's
be
got
hot.
to be hot. They don't want no lukewarm
It
food.
can't be lukewarm. It has to be steam coming out of. I think that's a Jamaican coming out of them, because my father's like that, my sister's like that, and I'm like that too. I don't like cold food that's supposed to be hot. If my food's
I
supposed
like
to be
cold
hot,
cuts.
no, make it hot. But anyways, go
Yeah.
ahead, babe.
Yeah, just that. In general, see, I almost lost my frame of thought. See, mental
Yeah,
health.
that's why you don't need to do
Mental
me like
health.
that. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so you basically need
Babe, come on now. These
I'm
people
saying,
ain't gonna
babe,
sit here and
look,
watch us and
you
eat that.
interrupting me. I'm trying to get this
You were
out.
talking about how good the massage was.
Yeah, the
and
massage was
making
really.
sure that
It
the
was
kids are
really.
good.
It was really good. And I mean, I was relaxed. I felt like that was, one of the greatest nights of my life in a long time, because I got a chance to
That's true.
relax from my environment.
Correct.
Don't let your environment rule you. Don't let your environment stop you from being or doing the things you need to do.
Easier
Yes,
said than done.
you have.
No, I'm not. I'm saying keep going.
Of course, you have to make. You have to plan and have expectations for your environment. You know how it's going to go down. generally, because the kids is like an episode, the same episode every day, you know. So with them, if you learn that it's going to be the same every day, it may be some variation here and there, but you know how to handle it, and you find ways of handling it. But you have to also, at the same time, find ease. That's all I'm saying. Find some peace.
Somebody said it's time for you to get another massage. You keep talking about it.
Hey. Matter of fact,
Listen.
hey, if they open tonight,
no lies.
if they open tonight, I
then
may
it probably wouldn't be the appropriate massage if it's open tonight.
Why you gonna say that? You know I ain't.
I didn't say you was. I'm just saying.
Anyways, we an hour and 16 minutes in.
Okay,
I think
we're going to let
she's
y'all
tired.
go because I am
So,
tired.
yeah.
I still got to finish laundry.
Yeah.
What time? Oh, it's time for these children to go to bed.
They got to go to bed.
Oh, I made some good old muffins. I'm excited about tasting the muffins too, y'all.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you'll see us next week. We apologize for being late. There's been technical difficulties. I had to reset the computer, and you know, it's actually working a little bit better than it was before.
Yeah, it really is. Can I say this real quick? If you are watching, please like, share, and subscribe. Not only just like, share, and subscribe. I'll say that one more time. Like, share, and subscribe.
Share it.
Please share it. Please share it. Please. But if you have any questions, any comments, anything that you want us to talk about,
say it in the chat.
Let us know. We have no problem with talking about it. Our goal is to have two of our closest friends, they're a psychotherapist, to come on and talk about, and that is where you can email the questions or comments or topics you want us to talk about. Have them come and talk to you guys, or us, not just you guys, us too, about getting tools on how to help yourself, how to mental health, how to pay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I'm
the
tired,
tools,
y'all,
the proper
real.
tools on
Right, that,
you know, that we need to move forward.
And then we do have scheduled coming up a BCBA, which is a behavioral specialist for the most part. She's going to come on. She did say that she would do it. Come on and help parents, give them tools, talk to them, kind of give them an overview of what ABA is. Because a lot of people, I feel like they have a misconception. They have the wrong thought about what ABA is all about.
And it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. But as for me and our house, we're going to give ABA a go.
Yeah.
And I think it's really going to be something that's going to be beneficial for us.
Yeah.
But she's going to come on. We'll let you guys know. We'll put it up. We'll do a whole promo thing or whatever, and do that. We'll also have, and I'll get with the sis, we have a parent that has an adult child that is in college, and I believe she told me it's her sister-in-law, and I would love for her to come on and just kind of talk about, give us what she went through, and that may be a 1 or 2 part series. I'm not really sure, but we need encouragement, right?
Yeah, so we're going to have guests.
We're going to start having guests on or whatever, because we have that capability and that ability to do that. And so we need to be able to see on the other side of things.
Yeah.
Some of us, our children, will be able to go to school and live a normal life as much as possible, and some of us won't. Some of us will have to constantly, have our children in home. But whatever that looks like, you still need to know that there is a bright side on the other side regardless. So that's our goal. Anyways, that's all I want to say.
And you also need to know that there's a community that can help you. We're trying to create a community to where, we're able to have outdoor functions, that we're able to come together and gather together and see about one another and, give each other advice, because we don't know it all. That's why we're bringing these guests in. And we also, you're part of our community, so we want to know, what you're going through, and we want to know if there's something we can help you with, or if there's some things you can help us with.
Yes.
So that's what it's basically about. This is not about becoming big time or anything like that. Listen, we're in the same shoes.
Yeah.
So we're in the same boat. So let's ride this journey together. Let's get to where we need to go to. And, I know that, as my wife was mentioning, there's some people that's going to go off and, their children are going to be able to accomplish great things. And there's going to be some others that are in severe situations, but we don't want to keep you there. We want to be able to help you with the tools that you or give you the tools that you need in order for you to live a better life.
Right.
So that's where we are with this whole thing. So
Right.
out of this, I'm hoping that they'll become, like autistic schools,
More affordable for the
autistic
people.
schools, or maybe
like
it'd be
us.
birthed or something like that. What we're looking for out of this is to have certain events for our children to be able to go out to and be able to have a good time, and not distance ourselves from the world. What can come out of this is, there maybe someone that's an entrepreneur that can start a restaurant for autistic kids. We don't know what may come out of this.
Facts.
So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to birth great things so that people that are dealing with life like we are can have ease. All right?
Facts.
God bless you all. We appreciate the time.
I was finna say something, but he shut it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him shut it. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Like I was saying, God bless you all. And we just hope, that you're getting blessed, and that this is something that's really encouraging you
Yes.
and giving you light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
We know God is able to do all things. We're Christians. We believe in God.
Yes.
And we believe that he can make your situation better.
Yes.
And everybody doesn't believe that, but that's what we stand on, and that's what's been keeping our minds.
Yes.
That's what's been keeping our hearts, and that's what's been keeping us continuously going.
Yes.
There's times that you want to give up, all out, just throw in the towel and just lay there.
up.
There's sometimes you just want to lay in the bed and not pull the covers up over your head.
And
Sometimes you
pull
just
them
want to
over.
sometimes you just want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
But don't give up.
Don't.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you. And don't check out.
Don't.
So check in. So we appreciate you.
Check in and watch Living with the Spectrum every Sunday night at
Sunday
7 o'clock.
night, yeah. All right.
So excited. Anyways, Living with the
I
Spectrum.
thought you
thank
was gonna do. I thought you was gonna do something.
No,
extra special
you
when
said
you
check
said
check in. I said, well, check in watching Living with the Spectrum every Sunday night at 7. Like, again, I'm not going to go through that whole spiel, but we appreciate everyone that watches, that likes, that shares, and subscribes to our message,
Yeah.
our podcast, because it's very important to us and to the people that, do watch. So
Please.
please continue. Please continue. We love you. We appreciate
Please
you.
share. Please share.
And we are out of this thing.
Peace.
Bye.